Hi, my name is Brandon Hamer, Director of Research and Development for Aurora Cooperative, and this week's agronomy update is brought to you by the Nebraska Soybean Board. Currently, right now, we're just outside of Aurora, Nebraska. Field conditions, like most places, are a little bit wet. Fortunately, we were able to get our soybeans in early. These soybeans right here were planted around April 15th. So right now, one of the key things we're looking at is, number one, looking at our emergence, our stand counts, making sure we don't have any spots where we maybe have drowned out or had crusting issues, especially with all the rainfall and moisture. And then our second big thing that we're watching is herbicide applications. As we look at those early herbicides that were put on, maybe that second week of April, it's been 40, 45 days, and they're starting to run out of gas. So we recommend early treatments. One of the key concerns we have as far as weed pressure is the weed that a lot of us talk about is Palmer amaranth. And so we want to spray weeds when they're very small, preferably before they even come out of the ground, and put a full rate of a second residual herbicide down, and then make sure that we get good coverage, good contact, because we have to hit every one of those growing points. We like rain, but we've gotten a lot of it in some areas, and I know in many places we're doing stand count evaluations. There's several things we need to look at. Right now, if you have 80,000, even maybe 60, 70, 80,000 plants viable, we don't recommend replanting. If you have big gaps in the field, maybe you stub in, maybe we splice in some of those spots just to fill them in so we don't have weed problems. I will encourage everybody, even though it feels like it's late and maybe you're having to replant, we ran into a situation about 5 years ago when we had the flooding. We were not able to plant our research farm in David City until June 20th. We went in with soybeans on June 20th and were still able to raise 65 bushel soybeans. There's a few considerations if you're looking at replant or your planting's been delayed. We do recommend bumping the population up. That allows you to get more plants out there, which will create more nodes and more sites for us to set pods and flowers later on. Traditionally, the lower populations are okay early. But as we move forward in time, we want to get as many nodal sites, as many opportunities to create yield out there as we can. So we bump populations, back up into that 200, maybe even 220,000 range, just to get more plants out there. But we also start to look at insects. We'll start to see bean leaf beetle here. We've already had a few reports of thistle caterpillar here within the last week. They're very small, very hard to see, but they're out. Typically in a wet year where we've had plenty of moisture, we haven't had the hot, dry conditions, we do see better insect survival rates. And so that's a big concern that we need to keep an eye on, watching those fields for insects. So we really encourage everybody, if you have got your beans planted, be on top of things, be ready to spray. Typically this is the window where we really need to get those post applications on. If you're still waiting, don't give up hope. I know there's a lot of stress. I've talked to quite a few farmers that are kind of at their ropes end, but there is still time. And so we encourage you to just stay positive, continue to do what you can do when you can do it, and that's our message to all the growers we work with. We'd like to thank you for watching the Agronomy Update, brought to you by the Nebraska Soybean Board.